We're now in black.
Okay, so this next card is called Barb Seror. It costs 3 in a black. It's an artifact creature construct. It's a 1/1, but it is indestructible. When Barb Seror enters the battlefield, suspect it, so it gains menace and you cannot block. Whenever Barb Seror deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. And then it also reads, whenever Barb Seror is dealt damage, target opponent loses that much life. Well, I wanted to bring this out here because if you've seen one of our recent shorts about the Legolas Quick Reflexes combo with a Fatal Alchemist, this is a cheaper stuffy doll that allows you to kill your opponents with that combo. So basically you are dealing the damage to it and making target opponent lose that much life. And it actually says an opponent's, so it cannot even be swatted to you. So I think it's cute. I don't say it's a card you will see a lot.
I think it's cute. It's got menace. It'll at least be drawing you 1 card per turn, right? Because you will just, swing in with this every turn without fail. Because it has menace and because it's indestructible, you're always going to be getting something out of it. I wonder if
it doesn't die to the Bowmaster, so
doesn't die to Bowmasters, right? So it doesn't matter that it's drawing you these extra cards.
yeah.
I think it's okay. It checks off boxes enough for being okay. Me personally, I don't think I have a slot for it anywhere. We had talked about some potential applications with Obnixilis, in that it'll just guarantee that not only do you get a card draw off of it, but you also get an Obnixilis trigger because it's a 1/1. Yeah, that's kind of the limits that I'm seeing to it. So I'm personally going to skip Barb Seror even in the Obnixilis deck that I do play, but like you said, it is an outlet for the Fatal Alchemist and Legolas Quick Reflexes combo, or Seeker of Skybreak if you wanted to bring that up as well. That does make it a 3-card combo, with the difference being that all 3 cards are very playable, and it could just turn into something.
So yeah, it's cute. Maybe try it in a strange shell to surprise your opponents, maybe.
If you keep it in Seeker of Skybreak, that does make it a Golgari win condition, and Golgari doesn't have a lot on their plate to pick from. They really just have some commander-specific combos, such as the Gitrog monster, Turbo Nos with Belbay, and then they're usually just doing either Magecraft, Mono Black win cons, or something with Protean Hulk, if they wanted to pull that out. So maybe just having this in the 99 wouldn't be something they particularly tutor for, but Seeker of Skybreak, Barb Seror, and Legolas's Quick Reflexes are all just playable cards. So test it out, see if it works for you. Moving on to Long Goodbye. Long Goodbye is an instant. It's 1 in a black. It says the spell can't be countered, and destroy target creature or planeswalker with mana value 3 or less. So obviously 2 mana removal isn't new. It's not uncommon. And to be honest, 2 mana removal isn't even played in a lot of places, just because 1 mana removal is better. This has a pretty limited range of what it can hit, but I think the most important thing is that it can't be countered. And we've talked about that enough. We are in the world of counter spells, especially free counter magic. Being able to pop something without it being countered, it gets a thumbs up from me. That's one of my biggest problems in low color decks is I need to be able to remove a Drannith Magistrate, and I need it to stop getting countered every time I try it.
Exactly. Yeah. Abrupt Decay does see play, and it's 2-color. Yeah, I think this definitely will or could see play. I think it will see play, at least in Crick. And I would play it perhaps in any Mardu or up to 3-color decks that don't have access to blue. If you are in maybe black, white, anything that doesn't have access to blue, because then you maybe play a cheaper removal and counter magic. I would see you play this to get rid of that Drannith or that stacks piece that is also preventing you from going off.
I do want to point out that because this spell can't be countered, it gets around counterbalance.
That's true. And ward, if these creatures we were just speaking earlier start appearing, and maybe a deck gets known to have that one particular creature that once it comes out, you know what it is, and you want to remove it before it flips.
I wish this could hit Tivit so much. Like,
Oh, yeah.
if this could hit Tivit, oh, it would be such a good thing. I hate you, Tivit, and I hate that you have Ward. But on the bright side, Wizards apparently seems more comfortable about printing uncounterable. In fact, Wizards is so happy about this getting through Ward that they even put it in the reminder text. That this spell can't be countered. This includes by the Ward ability.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see something more in the future. I know that Ward was a returning feature of this set. It was part of either Suspect or Disguise. I don't remember which of the two. Actually, I think maybe all the flip down effects give Ward now. But because of that, it seems Wizards is comfortable printing something that counters that. So, no complaints there. Long Goodbye is a great card. Okay, up next is, I think, a favorite of a deck that you like to play.
Yep, Mastermind Plum. It's a legendary creature, a human wizard that costs 2 and a black. It's a 2/2, survives Bowmasters. It's good already. Whenever Mastermind Plum attacks, exile up to one target card from a graveyard. If an artifact card was exiled this way, create a treasure token. And then it also reads, whenever you cast a spell, if mana from a treasure was spent, to cast it, draw a card and lose 1 life. So yeah, you were mentioning Prosper, which is a deck I do like to play. More on the mid-range side, so I don't like all-in crazy Adnos Prosper, and I think Mardu has pretty decent cards to play a somewhat mid-rangey playstyle, and these synergizes a lot well too with Prosper. So yeah, I might sleeve Prosper again to try it out with this card, and I think it's another one of those good value engines that you can cast early and start getting more card advantage, basically.
Yeah, I think from the people I've spoken to who are already testing it in Prosper, it's done amazingly well for them, just as more value engines. I think if there was a tier list of the types of upgrades a deck can get, obviously something at the top would be like Forensic Engineer, where an existing deck is getting a new combo quote unquote, because of an addition to the deck, and then maybe a step down is like you're getting a new value engine. And so I would consider Mastermind Plum to be a pretty important inclusion for those Prosper decks. If it does, manage to stick around. It's on curve, right? You get to cast this before Prosper comes down, and then Prosper starts to make, treasure tokens, and you can start to get card advantage from this. So I like it. I say play it. I think this goes beyond just testing it in Prosper. I think you should probably be on this if you are playing Prosper. You brought up like a Turbo Adnos version of Prosper where, sure, if... I don't know, even on Turbo Adnos, it depends on when this comes down, right? Because Mastermind Plum plus Dockside Extortionist says like every spell you cast cantrips. So even if I was on Turbo Nos, oh well, then your life total is so low that maybe that doesn't matter. Yeah, if I was on a Turbo Nos version of Prosper, maybe not. But I think just knowing that pressure, not only is Prosper making the treasure tokens, and that'll make all your spells cantrip, but also Mastermind Plum has a chance of, maybe swinging and getting rid of a Lotus Petal, making more stuff cantrip, and then of course, like we said, Mastermind Plum plus Dockside Extortionist and a couple of spells that's amazing. Like, just manage your mana, use 1 treasure per cast, go nuts. I think it's good. Big thumbs up for me. Okay, on to a fun card, Massacre Girl, Known Killer. This is a 4-mana legendary creature human assassin. We won't be talking about her in the command zone today. We're going to be talking about her in the 99. She is a 4/4 with Menace, and says creatures you control have Wither. And then if a creature an opponent controls dies, if its toughness was less than 1, draw a card. So I know the commanders that you're going to talk about that could play this. I'm going to bring up one that I thought of just last night while I was looking over the list. Toxrill is kind of famous for making your opponent's creatures have 0 toughness. And this is a lot. 4 mana is quite a lot. Toxrill will have pooped out 7 mana in order to, have gotten to their commander, but I actually think this isn't a bad choice there. It depends on the kind of style of Toxrill you're going for. Some Toxrill decks are just demure good stuff. You're just playing Consult, you're just playing Scepter, and Dramatic Reversal, and you're just trying to win the game. If you're more of like a turbo, there are some versions that are like turbo Toxrill, like just get Toxrill out as quickly as possible and then play cards that are themed around that, themed around, having slugs, themed around controlling your opponent's boards. If you're on that version of Toxrill, I think Massacre Girl could be playable there, or at least testable, as you'll basically draw a card for each of your opponent's creatures. They're all going to die eventually.
Yeah, I think it's. I haven't thought about Toxrill. It's been a while that. I'm not in Porto anymore to play against Slate, who used to play this deck a lot. So of course, if you have the mana to cast Toxrill, sure, 3 of those are usually a Jewel Lotus, but you will have mana to cast this Massacre Girl, I think. The other commanders I would mention. One is Yawgmoth. This might be a bit too redundant for Yawgmoth, from what I've heard. Or Hapatra. Hapatra could be interesting as well as an addition to Hapatra, but it's been a while since I've played against Hapatras, that I've seen them around. But if you like it, if you like that, just maybe leave a comment below what your thoughts are about these in the 99 of those cards. And one thing that I will also like to point out is that your Orcish Bowmaster gains Wither. So you can, and your Orcish Bowmaster killing Dorks is just also drawing you cards. So it has a lot of synergy there. And you can even start killing bigger creatures with Bowmasters, because Wither just puts the -1/-1 counters on them, and slowly even a Thrasies will die to a Bowmasters through these Wither effect. So
doesn't Massacre Girl also make Toxic Deluge draw cards equal to the number of creatures who died?
Ooh, yeah.
Right? So even if you have to go really big on a Toxic Deluge, Massacre Girl will still see the other creatures die as well, even if you end up losing her. The best case scenario would obviously be just, Deluge for X equals 3. So I guess all the decks we've talked about today obviously contain black and probably would be on Deluge to begin with. So it is cool to know that this could be I probably wouldn't do it all in one turn, but if it's, Massacre Girl on one turn, the next it's a Toxic Deluge for 3 or bigger, you'll draw a card for each of those. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good upgrade, at least for these lists. There are cards that allow you to draw other cards when creatures your opponent controls dies, but they're usually limited to only once per turn, and I like that this does not have that limitation. So thank you, Wizards of the Coast, for not doing that thing that you do where you take this ability triggers only once each turn and then slap it onto the end of a card. Thank you for not doing that. It makes us very happy. Okay. Huh?
Just now that you mentioned the Toxic Deluge, perhaps this is a commander, while red has Pyroclasm effects, black has -2/-2 all day long. So I could see these as a commander with some full of like anti-board state commander, full of all those -2/-2 spells that usually cost 3, unfortunately. But if you have also like decent creatures that have a little bit more toughness than those, you can easily take advantage there, I think.
Okay, so hear me out. You brought up a potential list, right? We're going to live brew something really janky. Okay, so first of all, you could have Kervik in the 99, but you could also do Urborg plus Cormuspell.
Yeah.
And so all of your opponent's lands become 1/1 creatures, and when they die, you draw a card. There you go.
Yep.
You can just do.
You
do
just
anything.
created a one-sided Armageddon.
Yeah,
That
a
draws you
one-sided
cards.
Armageddon, one-sided landlock too. You can't have more than one land in play at any time, I guess. So funny deck, probably not cEDH, but hey, it came to mind right away when you said it. And your commander gets to draw cards, you know.
Yep.
And it doesn't really need much. You could just play kill magic, right? And all of your kill magic cantrips. Anyway, so maybe in the 99, testable in, sorry, not maybe in the 99, testable in the 99, maybe as a commander if you felt like.
Yep, exactly.